Hi, and welcome back. Nancy Beauvert here with Agape and NEXsteps. Today I wanted to talk about caregiving. I'm calling this Caregiving 101. I want to give you 3 key tips to manage your caregiving duties. Now, I know that many of you who have been following my journey here understand that I started NEXsteps as a result of my caregiving functions, my caregiving duties. At some point, many of us, in fact, most of us, will probably fall into the role of a caregiver for a loved one, whether that's an aging parent or a family member who's become injured or ill, or perhaps a friend. And those functions that we start with love can end up being a pretty heavy burden sometimes. Now, my personal story, which I've shared on my website, is that I kind of came to this caregiving journey, part of it naturally, because I have aging relatives, and part of it because of a lifelong friend of mine who had left her husband, and she ended up with nobody else to stand by and take on the role and responsibility of power of attorney and medical representative. So I stepped up to do that. Now, you start these processes out of care and love for your friends and family. And that remains the kernel of why we do this. But it truly can become exhausting. It can become exhausting physically and especially emotionally. As our loved ones sink deeper into their illnesses or their aging process, they can become pretty testy. I mean, let's face it, we're all going to be there at some point. And to acknowledge and know that you're losing your independence, losing your ability to take care of yourself, can be an extremely frustrating thing. You know, when we're growing up as young children, we can't wait until we're all grown up and an adult. And then you become an adult and you spend decades taking care of yourself and taking care of others. And then you kind of revert back, and suddenly you're the person that is having to be reliant on people. And that has to be difficult. So one of the things that you're going to be contending with is that you're going to end up having some very emotional responses from the people that you're providing caregiving to. This is a very important function that we do, and I think societally, as human beings, it is probably one of the most important functions that we can do, one of the most clear demonstrations of love for others that we can actually do. But that doesn't alter the fact that it can be difficult. And in today's article on my blog post on my website, you can read all about the top 3 things that you need to do as a caregiver to make sure that you stay healthy and you stay well, and that you're going to be able to be the best that you can be for the people that you are now taking on a responsibility for. I know that as I've progressed here on my journey, I've undertaken the responsibility of taking certification courses and informational sessions, and that's one of the things that you can do as well. If you find yourself overwhelmed, if you need a little bit of guidance or help, I am a certified executor advisor, and I have a lot of experience working as a power of attorney and a medical representative. I can give you some support. I can give you some guidance. You can find some of my service options on my shop page on my website. But please, the most important thing here is that you take care of yourself and you find those resources. So I'd like to invite you to hop over and take a look at that article. I hope that that can give you some guidance and make sure that you don't feel defeated. If you're feeling very low right now, if you're feeling overwhelmed, just take a few minutes, take a look at that article, and take some time for yourself, and stay well. Thanks very much for joining me this time, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye for now.